Today we're going to talk about off-site testing. So what off-site testing allows you to do is to test at third-party facilities using your RedJade license, right? So if I am company A and I want to test in Germany and in France and in Spain, RedJade allows you to do that using this off-site functionality, right? And so you'll see here I've set up this test. You'll also notice I have two windows open. There's this window in the background here. I'll show you why I'm going to act like I'm two different companies here, but I will go ahead and walk through this. So on the location step, we're going to choose this off-site. Right now, this is company A. I am right now behaving as company A who wants to conduct testing at third-party facilities, right? So I'm company A. I choose off-site. I enter some information about my event, and then I have two options for off-site testing. I can either host that off-site test at a RedJade member facility. This is free for companies. There is no cost for them to be a RedJade member facility, and I'll show you how that works in a second. Or I can send a URL to a non-RedJade member facility. Now, that is a one-time use URL that's only good for that test. The advantages of being a RedJade member facility are it makes your life easier. The site has a little bit more control over the tests that they're conducting on your behalf. The site only ever has to set up their computers one time. And again, it's free for them to be a RedJade member facility. They have very limited access. They can only conduct testing on someone else's behalf. The advantages for you as company A is that for both of these options, for both offsite options, is that every single time a survey is submitted, that survey shows up in your results, right? You will automatically have that data available to you. You will get that data tabbed and summarized, and you are not waiting for your offsite test facilities to gather that data and submit it to you, right? So it's significantly faster on your end as well. Let's go ahead and click next. Our next step is just our participants. So our participants here has to do with how many design block rows we're going to be making and how many participants we're going to need for our offsite facility here. So let's go ahead and click next. Now you'll notice here that I have gone ahead and filled out the information here, right? So this is what pops up first. You tell RedJade how long you want the sessions to be. You enter the number of days each participant will participate, number of samples that the person's going to evaluate, assumed incidence, and the earliest date and latest date control the days that the site that you're sending this request to is going to be able to schedule their test, right? So they have to schedule their test between the 15th and the 22nd, okay? You can add some more detailed information, and then you can click save, and what this does is this is going to send a bid to this offsite company, okay? Now what's pretty cool here is I'm gonna click on my other window. So this window is now the offsite company, okay? This is Acme Research, Inc., right? You'll see that here. My right-hand screen, the one with all the R's, my right-hand screen is the Acme Research, Inc. company. And you'll see here that the RedJade demo account, which is my account that I'm using to request the test, has requested an acceptance test to be conducted between the 15th of April and the 22nd of April. Now myself, as Acme Research over here, I have gone ahead and I have turned on notifications for myself. So if I look at my notifications, I have turned my event hosting bid created. I have turned on in-app notifications, okay? Not email, you can turn on one or both. And you'll see that I get this bell in the upper right-hand corner with the little one next to it. So I click there and it says, Steve Willis from RedJade Demo has sent you an event request, okay? The third-party company does not need to have a RedJade license. This is free for them. So here, sorry, I'll try to be more clear. The third-party testing agency either can be a RedJade licensee but they do not have to be a RedJade licensee. We have something called a RedJade member facility program that allows a company to have a very limited RedJade license for free that literally only allows them to conduct testing on behalf of third-party vendors. I'm sorry, of RedJade licensees. Okay, so if I click this view request button, it tells me all of the information that RedJade Demo filled out, right? So it's a 100-person test, 60-minute sessions. I have to conduct testing between the 15th and the 22nd of April. The people are coming in for 1 day and they're evaluating 6 samples and it's a 25% incidence. So I can provide a bid. Now, just to be clear, some people use the bidding process in RedJade, others bid outside of RedJade. That is completely up to you. This is only visible to your 2 companies, but it's up to you. So you can just provide a bid and just put $0 in here. You do have to put something, or you'll notice that we actually put a CPI and an incentive by default here, right? So let's say your CPI is 100 and you have a $50 incentive, and then let's add a line item and we'll just call this additional miscellaneous expenses, and we'll say that usually comes to $1,000, right? And so now we have our total bid here for $16,000, okay? And we submit this bid, okay? So we have now submitted a bid to our test location, to this location, right? Now I will refresh this screen, because normally you're not just sitting doing this back and forth, right? So normally this isn't just back and forth right away, but you'll see that there has now been a bid for this test, right? And we'll go ahead here, we'll accept the bid, right? The bid's been accepted. And now you'll see, now I'm going back and acting like I'm the test site here. I'm sorry, yes, you can send multiple bids to different locations. Great question. You can absolutely send multiple bids to different locations here, okay? You can absolutely do that. So now you'll see that we have our acceptance test. You'll see it's highlighted in green on both sides. It's been accepted. And I'll show you how to submit another bid in 1 second. So now we can schedule our reservations. So if I click on this schedule reservations button, you'll see my calendar pops up and I'm only allowed to schedule this bid between the dates that the company gave me during the bidding process, okay? So for example, if I click on the 21st, I can block off space, right? And I can do the same, for example, on the 22nd. What I'm doing on this step is just like your on-site test, I, as Acme Research, am saying, hey, I need these 2 days to get 100 people through here. But that's okay because it's in the window that you, as company A, granted me to complete my test. Okay, so now I see that here. Okay, so now my test is scheduled. My test will be available during those hours, just like an on-site test. So this works the exact same as your typical on-site testing works. All right, and you'll see that they also have access to the design block so that they can export the block, export their blinding codes, and be able to control the test on their end. Okay, so they get more. Instead of just being a RedJade sending a link, they get more information by being a RedJade member facility. So it helps you and it helps them. It gives them a little more control. They don't have to call you with issues. They can manage those issues themselves through collection, through design block, etc. Okay, and you'll see that just plays back and forth. There is not a list of third parties with RedJade capabilities available. And that's a good question. So somebody asked, is there a list of third parties? I could get one. I don't know how easy that would be to get. It should be pretty easy, but I have to make sure that the company has made their site available. So I'll show you what happens here. So if you want to get a second bid, right now, I already accepted this. So we will go, I'll go ahead and do another one here. So I'll just add a new event, right? So I just clicked add a new event. We'll do it off site. This will be site 2, right? We'll do hosted at a RedJade member facility. Next. We'll say this is going to be another 100 people here, right? And then next, and then here's where you can get multiple bids. So if I go ahead and I browse locations, and let's say you'll see everybody who has made their sites public, right, has done that here. Now, I generally recommend that you put like your metro area here, because people aren't going to usually look for, like, I'll give you an example. They're not going to look for Arvada, Colorado. They're going to look for Denver, right? And so you can search for third-party facilities. You can, for example, say Denver, right? And so here's like CNC market research in Denver. I don't want to click on an actual real one. So because these are real sites. So, and you'll see there's several just in Denver themselves, right? So here's Denver. They have Denver in their title, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can do this. So I do know this one's fake, so I'll go ahead and click on this one, right? And you can click and you can see the site can upload images of what their site looks like, etc. Here. They can click select, and then I would be sending that site a bid. I deleted that account, right? So we can do that. I don't want to click a real one here. I'll do, let's see, I'll do my account, InnoTech, I think is one, InnoTech Sensory. All right, so here, and then I can say, I want to make 60-minute sessions, so on and so forth, and you would go through this process, and then you can request another location. And you'll see now you have a second bid here. Okay, so that would allow you to do 2 locations, but these are individual bids for this specific location. So just to be even more clear, on your dashboard, let's say you were testing in 2 separate locations, San Francisco and New York. You would have a San Francisco event, you would have a New York event, and you would maybe get multiple bids for your San Francisco event and multiple bids for your New York event. I hope that's helpful and makes sense how that would work together. So the person would conduct testing on your behalf. The minute that data is available, the minute each person clicks on to submit a survey, that survey is available in your account. And from there, you would have control over that data set. So it would show up in your analyses. You don't have to wait for Acme Research Inc. to provide a bid to you. Okay. So that is the webinar for today. I'm going to go ahead here and stop recording.